Alrighty, guys. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA. I make videos for NFL. I post them on this subreddit called DF Sports. I hope you guys are having a good week. I hope you guys are having gonna travel to your families this week. Have a good time with your families. Enjoy. But yeah, I post stuff like this. I post all these videos here. People talk strategy in the comments. You can ask me questions. I'll always respond to you, stuff like that. If you ever need to get a hold of me, you can do so on Reddit through Messenger, or you can get a hold of me on Twitter at ToryLangley1992. So, I'll show you what I've been up to this week. So, it's been a pretty good week for me with NFL. I do believe, did we have a Saturday slate? This was the only thing that I could find in my previous recent NFL contests. I was this Saturday. I want to say it was. I don't. Excuse me, guys. It was Saturday. I know I didn't cash on Sunday, so that was an L. But Saturday and the showdown slates have definitely helped. So my Saturday lineup, I went with Kirk Cousins, Jonathan Taylor, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Michael Pittman Jr., Adam Thielen, Kyle Granson, David Njoku. This is cash games. As you guys know, I specialize in cash for NFL, but I do play GPPs. Also, if Discord is something you're interested in, I'll have a link to that below. I'll give you some sneak peeks of what I do in here. I post all of these player pool stuff with cores, stuff like that. Post private videos, stuff like that as well. That'll be in the Discord, a link down below. But yeah, I believe the core that I had for this was Kirk Cousins, Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, and Michael Pittman Jr., I want to say. I don't fully remember though. I know everyone. I told everyone I was getting to Dalvin Cook too, but I believe that was the core. Really good Saturday there, and then the showdown slate the other night: Travis Etienne Jr., Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Zonovan Knight, Jaguars D, Jets D. Ended up making money. Didn't fold double up because the lineup was duped a ton. It was just extremely straightforward, as you can see. The lineup was just duped so much, as you can see right here. But yeah, man, NFL has been extremely profitable. I am blessed with how NFL has gone so far. So, hoping to keep that continuing here for this Saturday slate for New Year's Eve. So yeah, let's do it. So we're gonna keep the normal format going. I'm gonna go over cash games. As you guys know, that's what I focus on the most. And then we'll just go over some GPP stacks that I do like. So first, let's take a look at the weather. So, not much. I mean, yellow, if you see the things in yellow, I'm not really too concerned about. It's the things in red and orange that I'm definitely concerned about. Like this Buffalo Chicago game, going to be 20 mile per hour winds with gusts up to 35, and it's going to be extremely cold. It's going to feel like negative 10 degrees out there. That's not going to impact things too much with the temperature, but those winds are definitely something I am concerned about. And then on the Cleveland game, nobody was going to play this game anyway. But snow pregame attempts in the teens, but those at least we're talking 30 mile per hour sustained winds with gusts up to 50 mile per hour. So that Cleveland game is looking like a no go to me. In this Atlanta Baltimore game, we have 15 to 20 mile per hour winds, gusts up to 30. Not something I'm too concerned about with 15 to 20. I think it's still fine. And I think when you get over to 25, it's something you should definitely consider. I still think this Buffalo game is something we can definitely target. And then in the Raiders game, we have 15 to 20 mile per hour winds with gusts around the 20-30 mile per hour games. Only thing that'll be affected is deep throws and field goals. So with that being said, let's go over cash games. So I think my quarterback pool for cash is only going to consist of two quarterbacks for me, two or three. I think the three are going to be, or two are going to be Daniel Jones, And Gardner Minshew at 4.8K. Where is he? He's just too cheap. He's going to be starting for the Eagles. Obviously, the Eagles are not going to be able to run their offense the way they ran it with Hurts, with Minshew, but tremendous talent on the offensive line, tremendous wide receiver talent. I could see him still getting it done here. You don't need much for him in cash at this price point, and he allows you to just jam in everyone else. So I do lean Minshew as the cash quarterback personally for me, but that doesn't mean you can't go to other options. I think Daniel Jones, wherever he is firmly, firmly in play for cash games. Where is Daniel? This is the best like environment weather-wise on the slate. Um, at 5.6K, with his ability to run the ball, I think it's definitely solid. I think he provides a decent floor. I think the ceiling is a little bit in question, but I think the floor is there for cash games. So I think Daniel Jones would be my second favorite cash game quarterback. I really think it's just those two, personally, for me, that I'm going to consider. But yeah, we can move on to running back now. So this week is extremely easy. You jam in the top running backs. So Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook are the three top cash running backs on the slate. If I had to leave one out, I probably would leave Cook out, but that's not a strong lean. I think Derrick Henry against Houston is an absolute lock. I think between CMC and Dalvin Cook, it's definitely a coin flip, but you're going to be wanting to play at least two of Henry, CMC, and Cook. Two of those guys should be in your lineups tomorrow for cash games. I'm going to try and get to all three, but I think all three of them make for phenomenal cash game plays. Going down further, there really isn't any punt running backs that I'm really going to consider. I think McKinnon is completely fine at 5.9K for cash games. Got 8 targets, 9 targets the past 2 weeks. Got 10 attempts. I think he's completely fine, but I think there will be some regression on the long touchdowns there. So be ready for that. But I think he's fine. And then that's it. I think those are the only 4 running backs that I'm really going to consider for cash games this week for me. Going over to wide receivers. So obviously, if you have the money for Justin Jefferson, it's going to be hard this week if you're going to jam in those 3 running backs. But if you have the money for Justin Jefferson, going up against the Giants, I think he makes for a great play at 9.3K, just averaging insane numbers: 33, 36, 32, and 3 of the last 4 games. He's had double-digit targets in the last 4 games as well. Not scared of the Giants defensively. I think, once again, weather-wise, game environment, this looks like one of the better ones on the slate. So he looks great. If you can get to him, by all means do so. So going down further, we don't have Tyler Lockett, so DK Metcalf is going to be the preferred option in the mid-range for good reason. His target market share is going to go up by a mile. He's already getting targeted a ton in the end zone. That's just going to go up even more. I'm surprised he only has 6 touchdowns on the season with how many end zone targets he has. So I think Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf looks great for cash games. And then we're really gonna want to be going to the mid range or spending down at wide receiver for cash games. So these guys like Juju, DJ Moore in the mid range, I think both look good, like pretty good cash game plays to me. Um, Juju has 10, 11 targets past 2 games. Seattle, they don't like giving up the deep ball. And Juju likes those short passes. His 8 outs not super high, which is definitely good for his floor. So I think Juju at 5.8K is pretty strong. I think DJ Moore going up against Detroit is pretty strong as well. So those 2 guys look pretty good for me for cash. I think Adam Thielen at 5.3K is definitely a strong consideration for cash games as well. Going down further, we're going to have to find some value here. So the preferred punt option for value is going to be Richie James Jr. once again, in this Giants game. 5 targets past 2 weeks has been the preferred option to Daniel Jones. So I think if you're playing a punt wide receiver, Richie James is the first value wide receiver in your lineup for cash games. Going down further, let's see if we can find anybody else. So I think Goodwin's viable for cash with no Lockett. Not going to be going out of my way to play him though. Already talked about Richie. Going down further, not going to get to those guys. Nelson Aguilar had 6 targets last week. Mac Jones is just so bad. Like, you're not going to have fun putting Aguilar into your lineups, but 6 targets, that's all we can really ask for in cash. Like, if I played Aguilar tomorrow and he got 6 targets, I would definitely be happy with that. They do happy with that. They do target him downfield as well, so he does have a ceiling. Going down further, there isn't much, man. There's not much value. Where is Dotson? I think Dotson is definitely a viable punt wide receiver as well. I don't hate him. I do prefer Dotson to Aguilar, but if you don't have the money for Dotson, I'm definitely still fine with Aguilar. Who else? I feel like I'm forgetting someone. I feel like there's someone else I should be remembering. I think it's just Goodwin, Aguilar, Richie James. I don't know if I'd consider Hodgins cash game viable personally. And then Dotson. Yeah. If I'm forgetting anyone, please let me know. But it's really a spend down week at wide receiver. Go to like one mid range option and then go to like double value. Let me take a sip of orange juice. All right, so tight end. I think it's extremely easy. With all of these spend ups at running back, you're not left with a lot of money. So Travis Kelce, not going to be able to do it this week in cash. Andrews, Kittle, no thank you. I think if you're going to anyone above 4K, it's going to be TJ Hawkinson at 4.9K. As you guys can see a trend here, a lot of the top cash game plays are in this Giants game for good reason. There's a lot of bad weather this week. There's a lot of cold temperatures. So a lot of these point per dollar plays are projecting in this game. Just a target monster, right? So the floor is there. The ceiling probably not as high, but we don't care about that in cash. We mainly care about floor. We do want ceiling, but mostly care about floor first. So I think TJ looks good. I think Dalton Schultz is one of the better tight end options of the week for cash games. And then if you are going to punt, I think Daniel Bellinger is the option there. And then with Noah Font questionable, you can consider the Dismeister. Will Disley at 2,700, who I think will be a popular play if we do get Noah Font out. So that is my tight end pool for cash games. For defense, I'm really going to try and get to the Chiefs going up against Seattle. I think that is my preferred cash game defense. But it's just a crapshoot. It really is. I think the Chiefs probably are my favorite defense. So I hope that helped you guys out for cash games. For tournaments, let's pull up PFF. 1 second. So, all right, cool. Let's move this here. So there are a few stacks that I think we can definitely take advantage of this week. I think the clear and most obvious first stack is going to be the Kirk Cousins double. So the thing here, Kirk, very easy to double stack with. You just go JJ, and you go Thielen or TJ Hawkinson. Just the amount of targets going between these two is absolutely bonkers, and then it's extremely easy to bring it back with just Richie James Jr., and it saves you salary as well. So very easy to double stack, a very good game environment. I think these Kirk Cousins doubles are going to get absolutely steamed tomorrow, but for good reason. Really like them quite a bit. Also, you're going to get Dalvin Cook getting a lot of ownership, so maybe that's a good way to get off that chalk. But I think these Kirk doubles are going to get decent ownership by tomorrow. I think this whole side is just going to be pretty popular. But really like these Kirk doubles. I think the Giants aren't going to be able to stop them. I think they're going to actually look good this week in the first half and put together a pretty complete game. So I think these Kirk doubles might be one of my favorite stacks on the week, but they're going to be popular, I think, in my opinion, but for very good reason. Going over to my next favorite stack. These aren't in any order, actually. We gotta talk about the Garden of Minshew. We gotta. It's Minshew Magic time. Going up against Dallas. It's not the best matchup, but it's Minshew Magic time. 4.8K is too cheap. Gardner Minshew is one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league. I personally think with the system, and I think Sirianni is going to be getting him involved quite a bit. I think they're going to be game planning pretty well here, and I think with just the talent around him, he can succeed here in a division game. So I do like these Minshew stacks. You don't have to double them. I don't think that's definitely necessary, but once again, this whole stack's going underowned, obviously for good reason. Like he's a backup quarterback, but AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, going completely unowned if I recall correctly. We know these two have tremendous upside, so this is not my biased take being an Eagles fan. I think it's definitely a viable double. Dallas Goedert is back. I haven't seen anything about a snap limit, but with Dallas Goedert back, that's probably going to limit some snaps for Quez Watkins, so it's a little bit harder to go there, but I think Minshew doubles are definitely firmly in play. And then I think my favorite bring back is obviously, I think, going to be Ezekiel Elliott. I think it pains me to say, but I think Dallas probably destroys the Eagles. Pains me so much to say. And if that's the case, they're just going to run Zeke into the ground. So I think my favorite option as a bring back is going to be Zeke. Obviously, you can get to guys like CD, Gallup. I think that's fine, but I think Zeke is my preferred option as a bring back. Going over to another game, obviously, we can go back to the Giants. I don't like this stack, but it's getting... Daniel Jones is going to get ownership regardless. We already went over his floor plus ceiling, but when he has had tournament winning days, 30 fantasy points, 30 fantasy points here, he hasn't thrown for multiple touchdowns. It's really been him getting a touchdown in the ground and then one touchdown through the air and completing a bunch of passes. So I don't necessarily think you have to double stack Daniel Jones. I prefer a single with him. And I'd honestly think you can include Saquon Barkley in that double if you want to with Daniel Jones. But I think Richie James Jr. is just the answer here. And it's so easy to just bring it back with Justin Jefferson. So that's another stack that I am definitely interested in. The other game that I do want to target here is going to be this Seattle Kansas City game. We'll talk about how getting different in a little bit, but Mahomes is printing money every week. It's basically play Mahomes, you print money. Nobody's going to want to spend this salary. Everyone's going to go to this pay up running back, so you're already going to be contrarian. Mahomes stacks are contrarian this week. I will include McKinnon in my Mahomes stacks with his passing game role. And then if you're going to pay up for Kelsey, you're just already different than the field with how everyone's going to be paying up at running back. So I think Mahomes stacks with Kelsey are very sharp plays this week. And I think Geno stacks are definitely solid as well with Tyler Lockett out. I think DK Metcalf is just going to have an absolutely insane role here. Very easy to double stack. You can go Goodwin, or you can go Font or Disley if Font's out. So another very good stack that I do like quite a bit. And then Josh Allen stacks, they're always in play every week. I personally like that people are going to be scared of the weather here. It's just going to lower the ownership. So I think Allen stacks are very sharp. And then, I mean, Goff is fine. It's fine. But I think that's really it, guys. I think those Seattle, Kansas City, the Giants, Minnesota are the two games that I'm liking the most right now. So yeah, like I said, if you want to be different in GPPs, here's what you do. You pay up at wide receiver. Pay up at wide receiver. Or you pay up for Travis Kelce. Boom. You're instantly different than the field. Your lineup is contrarian. Everyone's going to play CMC. Everyone's going to play Derrick Henry. Everyone's going to play Dalvin Cook. It's just as simple as that. That's how you get different in GPPs. Pay up for wide receiver. Pay up for tight end. You're instantly different. So yeah, let's go over some GPP plays. So obviously CMC, Henry, Dalvin Cook, they're GPP plays, but they're going to be popular, so can't really talk about that. Kamara against Cleveland. Taysom Hill's obviously going to be an intricate part of this team, but 21 attempts last week, only got 2 targets. Surely 1 week they're going to figure it out here. Where's that weather thing? I want to say, yeah. With the weather, probably helps his case with like 0.0% ownership, but obviously we want that passing game work. With those dump offs, I don't know if the dump offs will be affected too much, but Kamara is interesting. I think David Montgomery is a very very good GPP option this week. Um, his role has been very very good of late. They're at home. We want 15 or so carries, 5 or so targets. That's basically what he's going to get here. Has been extremely efficient the past 3 out of 4 weeks. I do like David Montgomery. I am not scared of Buffalo as well. Not gonna get to Mixon. Not gonna get to Sanders. I think Zeke once again very strong GPP play. If you think Dallas takes control of this game early, they're just gonna run him into the ground. McKinnon going to be popular, so can't really talk about that. And then, as you guys know, like Foreman, very game flow dependent. If you think Carolina takes control of that game, you can definitely consider Foreman. And then once again here, spending up for wide receiver is going to make you different. So love Justin Jefferson, love Diggs, love AJ Brown, even like Amon-Ra St. Brown for GPPs. So that's where I'm going to be getting different in GPPs. And then same thing, love Kelsey. So I hope this helped you guys out. I have a busy night ahead of me. Got to make some stuff for the Discord. So yeah, hope this helped. I'll talk to you guys in a bit, and I hope you guys have a great Christmas.